So moving on to Longview Shield. As mentioned, A&A fell short with Elwood passing us 5 down. Credit to Marshall Bunting, who took 5 for 54 for Elwood. And with the batting, as we mentioned, Adam Green making 80 not out and Sammy Dagar 62 not out. Both top scores for them in Longview Shield. As we said, they just batted sensibly.
Yeah, look, it was one of those days, but I think we've got probably 4 or 5 actually coming back available this game that weren't available last game. So that's obviously going to put, it should be an interesting training week because there's obviously going to be a bit of pressure for the guys to hold their spots.
And I guess the situation of Spring Racing Carnival finishing up always makes it easier, not only for us, but I'm sure all clubs out there. Moving on to the next game, Mackie made 9 for 235 with Damien Crotterfield making 76 and Dean Bott making 40. Bentley Uniting nowhere near it, all out for 166. Tommy Backman top scoring with 50. Mackie are looking really good at the moment.
They're doing it, I can't say it, they're doing it pretty easy when you have a look at the games. Obviously they dropped the first one and they've picked up the next 3.
How many runs would Buddha have made this year?
Well, yeah, I don't think he's made under probably 50 each game, so he's probably ticking over 250. It's just their senior guys are backing it up. You know, Buddha's getting runs, Parks he's getting wickets, taking wickets.
Well, they took 5 for 56 off 23 overs in destroying Bentley United. And
if you have a look at their team, they probably haven't changed. This team, besides Botsy, it's the same team they probably had the last 2 years.
I'd say probably.
With the exception of 1 or 2 of these guys that have come in. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be actually performing like they are, because the consistent cricket they've played over the last 3 years, maybe this year, that sort of cricket will be better than most of these other teams, because other teams may have dropped off a bit, and if they can keep consistent, which they've rolled probably the potential 3 or 4 teams that could play finals.
They've played all the favourites, so to speak, to make the finals. So you would say that their run after Christmas will be very light.
But it just shows you, Adam, when you've got consistent performance across the board with the bat and the ball, you're going to win more games of cricket than not, and I think that's what Mackie are doing at the moment.
Correct. And we play Bentley Uniting this week.
We do.
So a bit of a crunch game for both sides.
Yeah, definitely.
West Bentley played a nail-biter against LePage Park. West Bentley made 205 in the first week with Mark Chopper Reid top scoring with 37. And I think it's Scott Hendy. 8 for 66, which is a phenomenal effort in Longview Shield.
It's interesting that, the leg spinner took 8 from LePage. You took 5, so if that says anything about West Bentley,
maybe you're saying they're exposed to spin. We'll see. I guess over the next couple of weeks we'll determine that. But LePage Park just fell short, all out for 196 with Steve McConkey top scoring with 43. Big Ant Reid, 4 for, as is Chopper, taking 4 for. So it was Chopper's 200th game.
Good on him.
Yeah, great result for them.
They'd be kicking themselves over LePage, to roll West Bentley for 200.
They had a great opportunity.
Yeah, they did. So
from what I heard, a lot of starts. So not only Squeak made 43, but you had about at least 5 or 6 others who probably would have made at least 20. So,
and probably for the rest of us, it would have been great for West Bentley to be 1 and 3 at this stage of the year. So
that's right. They've got a sniff as well.
All of a sudden, they're sitting outside the other 4 and they're back in it.
Washington Park were all out for 113 last week, with Reimers and Clemo both taking 3 wickets each. Amiga passing 2 wickets down, with young Alex Fishkoff making 50, and Leon McGaw 37 not out. So an easy win for Amiga.
I thought Washington Park would have actually had a pretty decent year this year, because their kids were making some runs at the end of the year. I know we played the last game, and one of the guys made 100 and a couple of others got some runs. But look, to be rolled by 113 against Amiga, obviously they're low on confidence, and some of the senior guys probably aren't getting the runs as they normally do. So.
They're relying heavily on Craig Naidu tearing the opposition apart at the start of the innings. And if he's not doing that, then well, it seems that the other batsmen aren't really supporting him.
I'm surprised. Is Finney playing?
Finney is, I believe, yeah, and he's not. I guess not making the highlights at least. They've got Chris Gorry playing in the twos throughout the season. So, yeah, look,
that's disappointing.
It's time for their kids to step up, and I mean, they're quite confident, the kids at Washington Park. They've got a lot to say on the field, but they haven't really done much at this stage of the season.
But in saying that, you know, it's Amiga's credit. You know, they've knocked it off 2 down. And,
well, that's right, and they've been going through a youth policy for the last couple of years, and it's really starting to show up. So, well done to Amiga. Kingston Heath in another, I guess, disappointing batting performance. We're all out for 133. Veach taking 3, and Bell and Cove and King taking 2 wickets apiece each. Brighton Union passing 4 down with Avan Delac 47 not out, and Alex Gurdon 29 not out. So they, I think they might have just shaken things up a bit early on, Kingston Heath, but those 2 experienced campaigners getting Union over the line.
It's hard to get a gauge on how Brighton Union are travelling at the moment, because with all their boom recruits at the start of the year, I know we were pretty confident that they would have a very solid year, and pretty much I'm sure they will, but just some of those players probably aren't performing as they would have expected. So it's it's hard to see whereabouts they sit. It'll be interesting to see who they play this week.
It's also interesting, I mean, the fact that they're only chasing small scores, it hasn't really given the batsmen an opportunity to really shine and make a strong impression in a game. So who knows? Who knows? As you say, next game will be interesting. And in the final game, Carnegie South were rolled for 117. No real mentions there, but East Sandringham. Well, I guess it's a bit hard because the East Sandy highlights aren't up. But
well, I know Dallas made 100. So.
Yeah, well, he did make 100 chasing the score, and they finished, I think, at 3 for 208. So yeah.
But that ground this time, you know, tipping it was pretty quick. It would have been very quick.
Yeah, it's quick on even during lush periods. So yeah, it's So I think there's 4 teams on 3 and 1, and they're the ones in the 4: Union, Mackie, East Sandy, and Elwood. They're the 4. And following down, there's I think about 6 teams on 2 and 2, or maybe 5 teams on 2 and 2. A couple of teams on 1 and 3, and Kingston Heath at the bottom there on 0 and 4. So
it just shows you how crucial early games to if you can be 3 and 1. It just shows you how much of an advantage you have going into these rounds 5 between now and Christmas. So, you know, we're hoping that we can hopefully pick up the next. I think we've got Bentley United and a couple of other games that are sort of 50-50. So if we can, take those chances, there's no reason why we can't go into the break in a very good position. So
let's hope so. With players back, we'll make it hopefully more likely.
Especially Darcy McCaffrey taking wickets. It's always good to put pressure on fellow spinners.
Well, that's right. You know, I mean, you're only as good as your last performance, and not being able to secure a wicket last game.
I thought you bowled right though. I think it was just one of. I don't think the pitch suited your style of bowling, but it'd be good to get you back on the King George where the ball actually does turn.
On a 5th day wicket, so to
speak.
Yes. Well, we'll see how it goes, and looking forward to round 5, and good luck to all teams.
Thank you.
Cheers.